I like it.
Good. All right. There he is. Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you guys?
Are you seeing us sideways or not?
Yeah, let me turn my phone up and
There it
maybe I do
is.
this.
Maybe you just flipped your car upside down, huh?
Yeah, there we go. Well,
Hey
thank you for
there.
having me. Great to meet you.
For sure. So we're recording this, and it'll be
Okay.
posted on our podcast. And we're also on TikTok Live. We only have 44,000 followers, so you might get a comment or two.
You have so many prayers out for you, and people really hope and Cigna does the right thing. I'm Claudia, by
Oh,
the way, and
hi, Claudia.
And I'm Julie Bach, and this is the podcast of Don't Bach Down. And we are patient advocates. We work in the arthritis space, so we're in a rheumatology office. And
Right.
absolutely every single thing we do in this office is denied or delayed by the insurance companies and the pharmacy benefit managers. So we're super comfortable sitting on ready to fight the insurance companies. And I had the pleasure of meeting Warris, who you now know, Dr. Warris
Right.
Bokhari. I met him on Twitter in February of 2024, 9 months ago, so 7 months ago. And he and I have been working together, and he is the real deal. He is a humanitarian, and I know you already know that, even though you don't know him very long. But anything Warris asks me to do, I'm saying yes to. I always come from a place of yes. So I appreciate you being nimble and coming on with no notice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's somebody where I gained trust with him pretty quickly, and you can just tell he's a good guy and he's doing a lot of this out of just the kindness of his heart. So he's introduced me to several people and they've all been amazing. So when he forwarded on your guys' contact information, I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yep, yep. So this is Logan, and Logan is a patient and a parent and a dad. And tell us how you met Warris and how we are here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to make a long story short, but it's a long story. But long story short, my beautiful daughter, Gianna Grace, is 13 years old. And about a year ago, we had to move out of a house because the house had black mold in it. And the whole family felt ill. So we were advised by physicians, got to get out of the house. Everyone's dropping dead, basically. So get out of that place. So we got out. Everybody healed on their own once we got out of it. But my daughter kept getting worse and worse and worse. And she also has an autoimmune disorder called Hashimoto's. So we had our doctor, who's thankfully very passionate about autoimmune disorders, and he was helping out big time, but it kept progressing and getting worse and worse over the year. And he finally came to the point, he's like, gosh, I feel like something else is happening here. I think your daughter might have a neuropsychiatric disorder called PANS. And he's like, I'm not a specialist in this, but would you seek out a professional that knows this space very well? And what started happening was about 10 to 20 minutes every few days, my daughter would almost get like in an altered mind state where we'd lose her. She couldn't really communicate. She'd struggle to find words. She couldn't walk. Her joints started hurting. Like you're in the arthritis space. She has arthritis at 13 years old.
Mhm.
Her hands would get gnarled and start turning in. And it was scary. Like we didn't know what was going on. So we found a physician named Dr. Scott Antone. He's one of the leading physicians in this space in autoimmune disorders and PANS, and he's in Indiana. So we're in Idaho. So we flew all the way to Indiana. We met with him, spent the day with Dr. Scott. He confirmed the diagnosis after doing blood work and meeting with her and seeing videos of what her symptoms are. And we started treatment. And we've gone through every phase of the treatment, which was steroids and anti-inflammatories and everything, right? 6 months in, she's not responding, and he's like, she's one of these rare cases that needs IVIG, and he's like, we should be able to get this done. I think there's 11 states, 7 to 11, I can't remember the number that it's forced that they have to cover this nationwide. So he's like, we should be able to get this done, and they denied the pre-auth, they denied the appeal, they denied the peer-to-peer review, and at that point, when they denied the peer-to-peer review, I was stuck with no option than just go to the social media. And I made a social media post and on LinkedIn first, and that post gained some traction, started to go viral, and that's when Claimable and Walrus reached out to me and said, "Hey, I think I could help." And that's kind of where this all began about 4 days ago when it got legs, and now it's on Instagram, it's on Twitter, it's on TikTok. I hear, but I'm not on TikTok, but I
You're
hear
on TikTok
You
right
are
now.
now.
Yeah, you
You
are.
are now.
Why don't you show
Yeah.
the
You're a
people
fan
this?
favorite.
Yeah. You're on our TikTok live right
Don't pay
now.
attention to my
Okay.
phone. That's what happens when I work out.
Yeah, she
Okay.
has two phones. Yeah, listen, this is like the real deal, and I'm a national level advocate, and my colleague and I in Wisconsin, we did a talk at the National Advocacy Organization in Las Vegas in September of this year, and the title of my talk it was Social Media is the New Prior Authorization. I'm telling you, public shaming moves the needle. That's just how things are.
I mean-
And so what you're doing is the exact pathway to get your daughter the care she needs.
Yeah, and it's not the route I want to go. We tried to do everything the right way, but like, at some point you just invigorate super dad and super mom, and um, tough to not get emotional. I can only sit there so much and see my wife be heartbroken and my daughter scream. We have pre-written messages that my daughter can point to tell us what she needs. Where it's
And
like,
that's hard in itself for a 13-year-old, 13 is a
Yeah.
huge age. And especially being someone like a parent, I can't imagine not being able to help because this insurance company is just, even they have all this clinical evidence that it helps. And they're just like, no.
yeah,
It's
there.
going to get, your case is going to get overturned. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, I feel confident in it now. I mean, we had letters come in from Stanford, letters came in from Harvard, from physicians backing this up. Boris helped us put together a 30-something page appeal a few days ago. So I feel confident that we're going to get something. I have out of pocket, we paid for Gianna's first treatment this week, and I'm prepared to pay for every single treatment moving forward until it bankrupts us. But it shouldn't have to go that way. Like, we should be able to get support. I mean, I've been paying into insurance since my late 20s. I'm in my mid 40s now. Like, this is when we needed insurance the most. So I feel confident they're going to do something now. We're starting to get a response.
Yeah. Well, there's nobody better than Claimable and Morris Bakari to get this done. And as a seasoned advocate myself, I appeal absolutely everything from the physician's office, but the physicians are considered unimportant independent contractors to the insurance company and the pharmacy benefit managers. But when a patient sends in an appeal, now we have a contractual relationship between the patient and the insurance company. They have to respond to you.
But it's also hard because I called being a patient and had a representative just scream at me. So it's like, if this is what patients are going through, like on the provider's line, they've never spoken to me like that. And this lady was very upset. And it's like, I can understand why patients would feel like giving up, because if they're getting screamed at like that all the time when they're just trying to get something approved.
Well, and she did her own prior authorization on some medicine, so she's kind of switching gears here a little bit on us. That's one of her things with her 9 personalities,
Well, I
which
think
makes her
it goes into
good.
the same thing.
Well, it
It's like
does, but
talking to insurance and having the power, the patient having power.
the patient
Yeah.
is it means something to the insurance company because they've got some legal teeth in this deal. Whereas doctors' offices are just unimportant independent contractors. IVIG is a game changer for so many patients. And I actually had a rheumatology patient that had CIDP and went from being a healthy, 29-year-old, working in a hospital to showed up here in a wheelchair. And we got her IVIG covered through Cigna, 2 years ago. And it was a 100-hour project for me. That was before I met Boris. There's a pathway, you're on it, your daughter is going to get treatment.
And what's beautiful with that is we just saw her not that long ago, and she's going to be going to Bali to do yoga classes and like teach yoga. And like her overall quality of life is 100% better than when she was wheeled in here.
She made a full recovery.
Yeah.
So I
it's
hope that
stories.
gets help.
Yeah, it's stories like that that give us hope. We got connected to a family this week that had a similar scenario there down in Tennessee, and then they also had Cigna insurance, and their son was was completely lost. He was a shell of himself, and they finally got it approved through Cigna by doing something similar. A news station down there in Nashville picked it up, and because of that, they got approved. And now their son is experiencing his first 6 weeks that they know of living quote unquote normal. And they're at the point where they didn't know if they're gonna have to put him in a nursing home. At 8 years old, they thought they're going to lose their son. So we know that it works. Like your story that you just shared, his story gives us hope that once we get her going on this treatment consistently, that we're going to get our daughter back. Because like we're talking about, dude, my daughter she's a star soccer player. She played basketball. She was straight A student, and the principal called me today, and we're trying to figure out how to get her to pass 8th grade because she hasn't been to school now in 2 months, and it's horrific.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like the academic piece is like so down the list of priorities right now. I mean, you guys are like have a paddle and you're rowing for the shore, trying to get Cigna to show up and do what they're supposed to do. But this is going to get overturned, number one. Number two, Wendell Potter. I don't know if Warris talked to you about Wendell Potter, but Wendell Potter is a whistleblower and an ex-Cigna leadership person. And he's on Warris's advisory board, as am I. And he actually just wrote a piece in his newsletter about one of my patients. And I will text that to you, but he's another one. I mean, there are multiple levels to ratchet this up, and Warris has them all in his back pocket.
Yeah, I got to know him this week as well. So we did speak. So with him, there have been several celebrities that I know that Warris is connected to that have taken to Twitter and Instagram and social media. I know Mark Cuban sent this out. I know Jeremy Renner has put it on social media. Harold, the gentleman that was in the Matrix, he actually texted me, and
Amazing.
And he put it on Instagram, and he's been on Twitter or on X. So I mean, it's cool to see the support from people, and that, you know, the one thing through all this that has been a beautiful thing is just to see all the people's hearts. There are some really amazing people out there that really want to help, and you know, we're at rock bottom as a family, just trying to get through this. You know, we have 2 boys as well, and they have to live at Nana and Papa's right now. They can't be home just because they can't sleep because my daughter screams all night long. So we're struggling, but it's nice to have support like this and know like people truly care. It gives you hope. It brings you up, and just makes you feel like we're going to get through this. Like there is good on the other side of this.
There are some amazing, good people out there, and
It takes a village, and you've already started to make one.
yeah, look how much traction you've gotten in 4 days. Like, you know, but for your voice and your advocacy, you know, you would be isolated with living this nightmare alone. It's interesting because I had a conversation with him the other day, and he goes, I'm thinking about doing this for free for any pediatric patient. And I'm like, you're such a humanitarian, but you are giving people their lives back, and they will never forget you for this. They will never forget you.
Yeah, and that'd be an amazing thing. I mean, not everybody is going to be as lucky as I was to put this out on social media and get traction. 99 out of 100 parents don't know or could do something like this or get this lucky. So if there's an easier way for parents to get access to get this approved, that would be absolutely amazing.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
I always say we need to engage more with patients so they're educated, and then they'll feel empowered to stand up against their insurance company.
But, you know, it does take somebody that's not afraid. I mean, once you've stood at the gates of hell and you've got a child in between you and the gates of hell, I mean, it is like, get that daddy bear and mama bear. They're taking it to the mat, and I see it in your eyes, and she's really lucky to have you 2 supporting her and your 2 boys. And it really is a family disease because it affects everybody. And what we sell in rheumatology is hope. And in the PANS and PANDAS community, you just need some hope. You need some hope. And that's what doctors are. Yes. I mean, it's amazing that there's a solution. Now we just need to bridge the gap to get access to it. And what a bunch of nonsense that you have multi-billion-dollar international companies doing none of the actual work, making most of the money and withholding care. That's what this is.
Yeah. I mean, and what I just hope through all this is they understand just the amount of levels of pain and the hardship. Like this disorder, it's not only the patient, but families through. Like what you see in my eyes is absolute exhaustion. Last night, I guess this morning, Gianna was up till 3:45 in an episode screaming. She started screaming at about 9 o'clock last night, and she quit screaming and rocking at about 3:45 this morning. So my wife and I take shifts on who gets to sleep, and so I was till 3:45, and then had to go to work this morning. So, but this is what parents go through that have children that have pans and pandas. Is it's the reality of it, and it's you'll do anything for your kids, but that's why you find people like myself, your back gets up against the ropes and you have nowhere else to go. And after you get denied 2 times, and it's like, all right, well now I got to go to war for my baby girl, and it doesn't really matter who I got to take down to get it done. Like I'm going in and I'm fighting.
So were you not really active on social media before you posted about your daughter? Or like what
I'm
kind of
active.
sprung it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm active on just through my career through LinkedIn. So
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not popular on social media by any means, but there's like 10,000 followers on my LinkedIn, but it's all professional posts because that's kind of what I do. I'm the chief growth officer of the company I'm at, so I grow my company. So I use LinkedIn for that. And I think I had just enough followers probably on that platform that it caught some people's attention. So that's kind of how it got kickstarted. Then I got connected and started posting to other social medias. But yeah, I'm not a social media guru or wizard by any means. I think I had just enough context on that platform that got me connected to some people.
That's awesome. Well, I am not a social media person at all, but she is. But I can tell you, she started with our office about 14 months ago on TikTok with 100 followers, and we have 44,000 organically in 14 months.
Oh my
So
gosh.
what we're doing is something right.
Well, and
Right.
educating people that if you're going through this, you have a story to tell and we want to hear it. We want people to know what's going on and we want people to know they're not the only family suffering from a chronic illness like your daughter. I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of families right now watching this one really closely. So they're probably watching this live right now, trying to figure out, hey, if they get this approved, is this going to help out my family? So this is bigger than just Gianna Grace. This is, I mean, thousands of families that are in the same boat as ourselves right now.
Hundreds of thousands, I think, more so.
But what a gift you
Yeah,
can give to Gianna, to your family, and to the hundreds, thousands of kids behind her because of your ability to say, look, we're in a tough situation. We must help our daughter. And, the quickest way to get something done is find someone who's walked the walk before you. And it's that person like you who's saying, I'm going to walk the walk. And then all of a sudden you have this upswell and this is going to get overturned. It is going to.
They've seen it, they see it. It's just
They're-
now they're trying to figure out how to spin it in a way that's not making them look like the monsters.
Right. Cigna's on here right now. Okay. I'm certain of it.
And
We've already gotten a cease and desist letter from them, which is why we have her
C9636.
eighth grade eighth grade
Or Twitter.
no,
handle.
eighth grade TikTok handle
No,
C
it's
money
Twitter.
C_636.
C money 636.
Yeah, because this is satire. This is
Alleged.
yes. So right. Like
okay.
what could this rinky-dink little office in St. Louis, Missouri have
Right.
that Cigna is afraid of what we're doing? We're a nobody office, but we're patient advocates that speak the truth and tell patient stories and say, when it's not right, it's not right. Now make it right.
Yeah.
And we'll stay on the phone with the patient and the insurance forever. I won't get off the phone. I'll transfer it to my cell phone and we can go on the ride home together. And I think that's a lot about your fight too. You're not giving up. You're going to do whatever you need to. He drops the phone when you have to. You always have the red light on, and it's admirable.
So how have has your employer got involved in this yet, or where are they at on
He's
this?
the owner.
Oh, you're the
Yeah.
owner of the company?
No. So yeah, I work for an Idaho-based company. So I'm in Idaho. We have a parent company that purchased our company about 5 years ago. So I would say the president of our organization, who's my leader, he's been absolutely phenomenal, and he's given so much grace and love and support to my daughter. He's been incredible. And then our parent company also has been incredible. The HR department found out about this about a month and a half ago, and on my daughter's behalf, they've been really trying to work with our insurance company to get it approved. And they've been updating me along the way of, hey, we made this progress. We reached out. This is the response we got. But they were getting similar responses that I was getting when I called in. And even the CEO of the parent company called me over the weekend just to check in and see if we've heard anything. So I feel like I'm getting the love and support that I need from our organization, which is awesome. That's what you want from a company. And I've missed so much work because of this. And again, like I told you, my job is to grow this organization, and I can't do my job because right now, the reason why I'm in my truck right now is my daughter is screaming at the top of her lungs. I actually thought about almost starting it with that, but you wouldn't be able to hear me. So I went out to my truck. So I am not able to do my job the way I should. But also, there's a lot of people that would be fired because of this, and they don't work for amazing organizations like I do, and they don't fully understand what it's like to have a daughter or a son with pans or pandas. So I'm lucky. Like I've been lucky a lot. I've been lucky to have a great organization that supported me. I've been lucky that my post randomly went viral and I'm getting support. But it's not fair that I might get lucky and get my daughter covered here and the hundreds of thousands of others don't. Um, and I'm saying that just to put that out in the world that I'm going to get approved.
You are going to get approved, and so are the people behind you, because patients don't understand that they have a voice. 0.01% of patients file appeals, and it starts costing them big time in poor performance of their. I mean, where you got to hit an insurance company is in the Wall Street part, and you get more of this. This is a public relations nightmare right now. The simple solution is for them to say, Gianna, you're approved. Get your father off social media. But
Yeah.
that's going to happen, but then you're going to take it up a notch, because that's what people do when they mean it. And you mean it, and we mean it. And the things we have in common are every one of us is a patient, and every one of us has been denied or delayed by an insurance company. I don't even need to know you, and I know you. You know
Yeah.
me, and you don't need to know me. I mean, I have a daughter that has Asperger's, and she's 28 years old, and she became the first Missouri child to receive a fully funded applied behavior analysis program in 1998 in the state of Missouri. This is not my first day. Okay.
Right. Right.
This is just what I do. I take care of poor people for a living in Bridgeton, Missouri. And why wouldn't I? I've got the skill set to do it. And that's what I do. So
Right.
an advocate is an advocate, and we have more in common than we don't. And these insurance companies have lost their way because they provide zero products, they make zero anything, and they make all this money. How can that be? And then they deny care. So this is a movement that, and with Warris's situation, this stuff. I mean, Warris was out here. We did a clinic, an appeals clinic, and we did 38 patients in 4 days. And people are like, "Oh my God, where do these go? Do they go to customer service? Do they go to the executive leadership? Do they go to appeals? Get this off my desk," is how this is going to go.
Yeah. Well, I just appreciate people like you and Morris that are doing this fight to stick up for people that just don't have an option. 'Cause it's just really hard for these families right now, and we've been in contact with them in the last few weeks, and to hear their stories are just absolutely gut wrenching. And they're desperate, and they have nowhere to go, and the parents are heartbroken. Their kids are just suffering, and um,
Send them to
you know,
us. We'll share their story.
Yeah, we're happy to share
Yeah.
stories. What would you like to tell if David Cordani, the CEO of Cigna,
He
was
follows
sitting?
me on LinkedIn
Of
now.
course he does. If David Cordani was sitting here, what's the message you'd like to tell David at Cigna?
ooh, try to get through without crying. I would like to let them know, like currently right now, like my daughter is in her room right now. Her eyes are bug-eyed, like they're completely dilated. Her hands are completely gnarled. Uh, she's screaming repetitively right now, "Stop, stop, make it stop. Why won't you give me help?" Um, that's what's currently coming out of her mouth right now as she rocks back and forth. She hasn't been able to effectively communicate in really at all in 3 days. Hasn't got a break from it. We're just praying that today she gets even 5 minutes of coming out of an episode where her brain gets a little bit of break, and got to get back to reality. Just like help help my daughter get her life back. I'm gonna do it either way. Like if David and Signa doesn't do it, like I'll find a way to spend every single dime to get my daughter the help she needs. Like I'll find a way, but I would just rather Cigna steps up and cover this claim because we have one of the leading physicians in the United States. That's her doctor, and he's done it and he's seen it and he's attached case study after case study that proves it works. Yeah, please just approve it, not just for my Gigi, but really for any kiddo. And these are kids. Just please help.
Well, let's see if old David can't, take a break from his multi-million-dollar salary and take a look at this and try to remember what his mission statement is, because I'm not feeling it right now. And he needs to step up, as so does Cigna. And we will do everything we can to push your story out. And I'm going to actually email him this.
My heart absolutely breaks for you. To hear that, like, if it doesn't make David Cordani cry, I'm sitting here like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry you were going through this. And I'm so sorry insurance has inserted themselves in a way that you can't even help your daughter, like get the treatment.
But you know what? From the gates of hell, you will it will clear and you will walk this path, and this will become a blip. Okay, in her life. She was whole once before, she can be whole again. So carry on, keep your chin up, shoulders back, and walk with us. And we are thinking of you and your wife and your boys. And we're gonna dial back into you. We've got your cell phone number, so you keep us posted and let us know when your case gets overturned, because I think it's coming before Thanksgiving.
If
Well,
we have
thank you.
anything to do.
Yeah, hopefully maybe the next time we speak, it's a celebratory call and we're all excited. So I'm hoping that. So thank you so much for having me on and speaking to a complete stranger and sharing Gigi's story, because it really does mean a lot to Mary, my wife, and I that you guys that you're doing this. So thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll Claudia will text you a link to the podcast so you can send it out to your friends, and we will be back in touch, because you need to let me know when this gets overturned. I speak with Warris multiple times a day, so either he's going to tell me or you're going to tell me. So
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time. Get back in there. We are holding you in prayer, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you
It was
so
nice
much.
meeting you.
We'll take them. Great to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm still learning how to end things.